Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. You're tuning in with Marvin and Earl. We've got the vibes and you've got the time. So sit back and enjoy That Me Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to That Me Podcast. This is Marvin.
And it's Earl.
It's Tay. It's Jez.
And it's Paul.
And together, we're High Five. I've been wanting to say that ever since it started, man. I've been wanting to say that. Anyway, sick. Guys, so once again, thanks heaps for jumping on.
Thanks for having us.
This has been like a long-awaited ever since our previous guest, Ron, was here. We know you guys' names.
Yeah.
What are you guys about?
What are we about? We have a lot that we're about. I would say for the most part, we're an events company and we run things like festivals, bars, nightclubs,
Sick.
all that sort of stuff, late night trade, music.
Do you want to say what's your name first? Sorry.
No, that's we're a company.
No, you're just a company. All right, we don't even want to promote who you are. just
if you know, you know.
Yeah. If you know, you know. I guess.
No, Faces of Group is our company. So yeah, that's where we started, and then we've now progressed into a whole different range of things. So portable bars, clothing, some education side of things for stuff, branding and all that. So
to say the least, man.
Yeah,
to say the least.
It's a lot. So.
Yeah. You know what's crazy though? Like I actually, so before like we knew of you like personally, I know you guys did internships for university. Is that right? For events marketing, there was people who did internships with you guys.
We had some team members come through and do their internships with us. So
yeah, dope. Do you guys remember actually how we all like? I don't know. Do you guys remember meeting me at an event? I don't remember.
I remember meeting you, and I don't know where you came from though.
Yeah, just don't worry, man. Honestly, I'm that guy that's like I'm not even in the shadows. When I'm around, I'm around.
Yeah, legit. Like I remember it was at one of our events, and we had
Teddy's?
Yeah, the Teddy daycare.
The Teddy daycares in the back.
Maybe.
Back of Teddy Picker. Like the big
I just remember seeing you. We were all in like we have a private VIP area.
Yeah.
In the side room, and I just turned around and Paul's like, "This is Earl." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we started with a shot.
Which event was it?
Teddy daycare at Teddy Picker. You weren't there because I just remember doing a shot.
Yeah.
This is like the first time.
Yeah, 100. Like this is the first time we met.
Yeah.
I was telling Paul, I'm like, who the fuck is Jez? I'm so kidding.
What a sad guy.
Bro,
I'm gonna go.
Honestly, here's the thing. When the guy who was reaching out to us about having you guys on was like, oh yeah, so he said Paul, Taylon, and Jez. I'm like, oh Jez, have we met? Like, have I met him? He goes, it's Taylon's brother.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I love the guy. I know he is. I see him all the time. And I'm such a dumbass, man.
So wait, who's brothers here?
So,
Tay and I are brothers.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people think Tay and Paul are brothers.
Yeah, to be honest though.
we've had that ever since like growing up. Paul and I had like every single person that we came across, like whether at work, basketball, whatever. Like it's like we were brothers.
Yeah.
And then
I was the friend.
And who's older though?
I'm older. Yeah. So that's the other thing. I just assume that people just think I'm older, but a lot of people think he's older.
Oh really?
I don't know. Yeah.
I would have thought you were older.
Yeah, I would have thought you were older. Can you grow a mustache? Oh no, fuck.
A beard?
What are you on about, bro?
Sorry, bro.
I'm actually gonna go.
No, can you grow a beard? Like a proper like.
Nah, I can't.
You mean like a beard?
Yeah. No.
Like my beard. Like, can you grow like me?
Look. Hair grows, but it's like patchy, and then it turns to like orange and
orange. Interesting.
Oh.
I think that's like an Islander thing, though. A lot of our Islander friends.
Yeah, I got orange hairs too.
Yeah.
That's why I keep it really short.
Yeah.
Are you both Islanders? Like full Islander?
Not full, so half. So half Samoan and half Australian.
Oh, easy. Can you speak Sa?
No.
Few words.
That's pretty good.
little bits and pieces. It's always so bad though, because like you meet your family and whatnot, and they start
facts.
talking, and then we're like. Yep. Oh, cheers. It's like my 90-year-old grandma.
Bro, it's so sad. It's so sad. Nah, it's alright. This is what it is. And Paul, what's your background again? I forget.
I'm half Malaysian, half Australian.
Oh, Malaysian.
What the frick?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were half Islander.
No.
Oh, shit. My bad.
I get that.
You get a lot,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You would though.
Like, even from like New Zealand up to
Yeah.
and then the other guess is like Philo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially because it's tall as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Malaysian. Malaysians can be
no.
pretty tall.
Not really.
Nah.
Like, I'm like my dad's not even up to my shoulders.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my lord!
I swear Malaysians are.
How the hell did
I
you
actually
come
don't
so
know where you got your height from.
Yeah.
I'm like an outlier. Like my parents are like below my shoulders.
You know what's sad? Like, you know what's crazy though? Like, believe it or not, like my real parents are like pretty short, so I'm blessed to be this height. I mean, wait, hold up. I didn't say that right. Obviously, I'm short, but like, hold up. My parents are freaking short. Like freaking short. My mom is
Shorter than you.
way short. Hey,
Yeah.
what the? Wait, whoa. Why are you like? So I met my real mom a couple of years ago, and she's 4'11" or 5'4".
Yeah.
And then I asked her about my real dad, and he's shorter than her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm 5'5". I'm like, bro, I'm blessed. Blessed.
You could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, straight up though. I could have been a lot worse. So we talk a lot of shit about my height, but like, you know, we good. You know, we blessed out here.
You guys will see in the photos.
I was just saying,
Yeah,
wait till the
I don't
photos.
even want to talk about those photos, bro.
He looks like us in that photo.
Yeah, dude, like straight up.
But with Faces Off, how did you guys come up with the name?
That was going to be the name of an event, as weird as it sounds. We kept thinking about, you know, we're from the western suburbs and whatnot. And like every time we went out to clubs that we knew the people at, or like, you know, the crowd was very similar to what we had. It was the faces of the night. It was the faces of the brand. And then we were very big on like showcasing behind the scenes, like getting people to not just know a brand, like actually know who we were. So we were the faces of the events that we were running. And then
Came like the running joke of like, we're the faces of.
Yeah.
I got around
Yeah.
the industry like very quickly.
Yeah,
like,
faces
it just,
of.
like keeps you up like following along.
literally every meeting we would have with a different promoter or another group, they'd be like, oh, it's the faces of. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
nice.
okay. But yeah, and then we just added group onto the end to just sort of, to be honest, it was to get the FOG fog.
Yeah.
Fog.
Yeah.
Fogging hell.
Never had that one before, bro.
Funny, man. I'm funny.
You're on that one by yourself, man.
Yeah, but it's
we
true
clap?
though. Like, when I seen you guys always love to like promote your staff, employees. You like to give them like a background story. You like to give them a bit of detail and bios. I love that. I feel like not enough businesses do that.
Yeah.
Or they highlight employees and that.
Yeah, and I think for us, like the biggest part is that we know, like when we go into events or whatever it is that we're doing, we know how much like pressure and like work there is to get done in that. And so for us, it's like, it's only fair that we share that limelight with everyone, and so that everyone can kind of get recognized. And it's always nice as well when, you know, you rock up to events and, you know, our team's getting noticed and they're going like, hey, like I saw you with this person and this person.
Facts.
So,
Oh, nice.
it just
Facts.
keeps everything. And for like the type of people that we are in terms of like, we like to overhost, like, you know, drinks and stuff. I mean, the first time I met you, I think I handed you a shot.
man. Shot straight away, yeah. And it was like one shot. I was like, shot. So,
So we try to push that a lot, just so that everyone feels as though they're like more than just an employee.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I like that.
yeah, I love that. How about Jez? Can you talk about a bit about your team? Like, what's the personality? Because honestly, I've met like a good chunk of them, and they're all like fucking sick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of us now. We were counting it before. We have 15, including us three.
Damn.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's a big team.
Yeah, I mean, we've also got a lot of businesses that we run, so everyone's in a specific area, whether it's like marketing or ops or logistics, promotions.
Can you talk about like the personality types that you look for?
Yeah, like there must be some sort of screening, you know.
Yeah, and what are you after? Or is it just all friends?
To be honest,
Who can get lit?
to be honest, it's very much like a lot of who we have in our team we've met at our events, and they're people that support us a lot and love what we do.
Yep.
And they literally just come up to one of us and ask to get involved. Like there's a bit more to it on the back end.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
of course, yeah.
we try to sit down with them.
You hired.
Everyone's tired.
Yeah, say that.
That's the problem on Monday morning. Everyone's like, you said I had a job.
Yeah, that's facts.
No, I mean we have a very inviting like workspace.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we look for people that share the same kind of interests, and I don't know.
I think for a lot of it as well, it's like if we can find people who are super passionate about like something that we've got available in the business, that's where we sit. Because for us, like we sat there and thought about, you know, do we go and put out job ads and find people who are super qualified and have got degrees? And it was like, not to like throw shade on anyone that has got degrees and whatnot, but we found that meeting people in person at our events, like when it's a bit more natural, it's a bit more sort of casual, that we saw personality first before we saw what they're actually capable of in the workspace. Whereas a lot of people see like, you know, the resume, they see this and they don't see the, you know, what they're like on a night out or what they and how they hold themselves and whatnot. So we see all the personality first before we get into the work. And for us, I think we're like Jez said, we've got a very inviting workspace to where if they then come in and they love the rest of the team, they love the energy that's in there. It's like now you're getting the part where it's like, okay, they actually want to do the work. They actually want to push with us. They actually want to be a part of that process. So, So a bit of a reverse, but
yeah. I think as well, like even for us, it was like when we are going and looking at people, we don't care if they have a marketing degree. Like a lot of the stuff you can learn online, a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, facts though.
Like, for us, like outside of Jez finishing his accounting degree, it's like we didn't finish uni.
No one's qualified.
Like no one's qualified for what. Yeah, we haven't gone to uni and studied like marketing. We've just gone online and learnt from different marketing gurus and like learning that way, like online, similar to like almost how everything is. Then sitting there going into university and trying to sit there and study and which is where you see a lot of the guys that we are teaching is like they're learning as they go as well, instead of being like in the actual like classroom where they're getting told how to figure it out pretty much, whereas like you're pretty much doing it anyway, like the figuring it out stage, but you're giving with people who actually like care and actually like want to see you actually grow as well. So
because it's not just a job to them, it's actually like something they want to do.
It's a passion project.
Exactly.
It's a passion.
It makes it a lot easier for them to like when we ask them, you know, to look at other things and keep an eye out for things that they like and stuff like that. They're doing it because it's both ways. It's like, oh, I think this could really work, and it makes the creative environment really good as well. Where it's not just do this work. It's you know, your opinion matters because you might see something that we don't see. You know.
Where did it all start? Like, let's talk about the starting process. When did it start? I know I heard it was before COVID.
Yeah.
So what was established and who started it too?
The faces of was myself and Paul. So we all worked together at a rooftop bar. So like we've known each other since we were kids, but we worked together at a rooftop bar and we were seeing like we had really good chemistry, like all of our mates, to which then, you know, faces of was, you know, pretty much just a team of our mates. But we got to a point where, you know, we were seeing like we had energy in the bar, we were bartenders, like, you know, we loved the interaction with the crowd, like the people coming up, and so much so that then we looked into, you know, could we do this ourselves? To which starting up a bar itself was super expensive. We could not afford any of that. But then we found you could get a portable license, to which we could go out to private functions, birthdays, weddings, engagements, all that sort of stuff, which I started with someone else originally. And then in order to get content, because no one knew what a portable bar was and no one was willing to hire it. So in order to get the content, we staged our own sort of private events. So we would have our friend who, you know, she was my business partner at the time. She went out, she was a photographer and videographer, so she did all that. I ran the bar side of things, like with like bartending. We put just a Spotify playlist on. And then we would theme it. So we did it like an all white dress up party.
Dope.
Just in my business partner's backyard.
Dope.
And then so we staged it as though it was a booking for us. But then as time went on, we did more of those just to keep content fresh. And I was obsessed with like that process, selling the tickets, you know, putting the event together, planning it and whatnot. My business partner, she was more into like the corporate world. Like she was like, you know, let's focus on, you know, end of year Christmas parties, like things like that. And I was like, I kind of want to keep doing the events side of things. And we had no like clue about like what the events industry was at that point in time. We just saw it as a big party for us. And because we had such a big friendship group, like it was just our friends coming together to get drunk.
Facts. See, that sounds fun as.
Literally. And then I spoke to Paul. We sat down and because my business partner, she wanted to just focus on corporate and not do the events anymore. Just because she didn't like the stress of selling the tickets and all that sort of stuff. Facts. I looked at Paul and I was like, we should do something like, you know, to keep that going, but we can separate it as a separate business. And then that's when we sat down. I think we were going to call it Pineapple originally.
No, we had
an event.
We were going to call our first event Pineapple.
Oh wow.
That was like a running joke because like you used to have like the spiky hair and everything.
I was just gonna say, but Paul's hair used to be like gelled back the whole time. Is that why you guys called it Pineapple?
It was a running joke at first, and then
it kind of like stuck, and then it kind of worked well, and then it was kind of funny as well.
And then we got to a point where we split the two businesses. So we still have the Lemon Lime Bitters is the portable bar.
Gotcha.
So we still have that now.
And still with that business partner?
No. So she went off into her own corporate work. Like she's got her own job. She's killing it at the moment.
Good stuff.
Like Jez now is like our director for Lemon Lime Bitters.
Oh, nice. Good stuff. Let's go, Jez.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we got it to a point where we just put out our first event, like Perception was what we called it.
What are these like really in-depth names? Bro?
Yeah, I was gonna say how did you come up with the names? Marvin's Room,
Integrity.
I think the name started off real in depth, and now we've just gone for random
whatever clicks, right?
Teddy Daycare.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but like that one's good. Teddy Daycare.
When we first started, there was so much thought. Like we had months and months of like planning and prepping, nice. And so it was all about like how do we think about the psychology of someone seeing?
Oh wow, interesting.
It was
Inception.
Yeah, like literally.
Purgatory.
And like, we'd have Hans Zimmer playing on full blast.
Oh, what the hell? Okay.
Yeah, like drinking like energy drinks and shit. Just like
sure.
People would have thought we were high or something.
Yeah. I'm with the events. Like, how was the startup cost of everything?
Yeah.
Expensive.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why I came on board.
Jazz is the number.
When they started Faces Off with the first event, Perception, I would like look in the room and like look at the financials. I'm like, oh my God, this doesn't look good.
Frick.
Yeah. And then after the first event, like I helped them out with ticket selling and stuff. But after the first event, I fell in love with it as well. And I was keen to like jump on board.
We had a room at the back of my parents' place. Like it was just like a little alfresco thing.
Yeah.
We would just blast music and like all of our mates would just come in there and we'd all just sit there hustling, selling tickets for any of our events. But yeah, in terms of the financial startup, it was Paul.
You guys went all in on the first one.
Yeah, I sold my car at that.
Oh, wow, that's some dedication.
Yeah. More so because it was just expensive. Like Jeep, it was fucking expensive at 18.
Oh, so you can afford it anyway.
Yeah. Petrol was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to now, probably a lot better. But we had, I had sold the car and put half of that towards like our sort of startup and first event.
Yep. Dang.
And Paul like was working nonstop.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I was like paying like most of my wage would literally go to like getting to that.
Dang.
Oh, no, that's
were you working at
that's
home?
respect.
No, you guys were living.
No, so at that point I was living at home.
Okay.
So it was like, look, it didn't really matter too much as long as I could buy food when I went out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was like a lot of it was like pay the stuff that was coming in, where he paid like the upfront for a lot of stuff, like deposits and stuff, and then as things like Facebook ads and stuff would come in, it was like I'd pay those ones off, and until eventually we made it to an even point.
When did you guys break even then? How long before you guys broke even?
We broke even on our first event.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. But we were like, looking back now, the tickets were so fucking expensive.
Yeah. Wait,
like,
how much?
How much were you charging?
So in our head, we were like, okay, if it cost this much, the ticket break, like to hit a break even, if we could sell half and break even, that would be sick. Because then anything after that would be profit. In the industry, a lot of people are like the profit margin, like they speak as though the profit margin is super small and you do it to build momentum. So for us, we were charging like $80, $90.
God damn, what?
And because our mates didn't really know any different to what we were saying, because house parties that we were running like in the back of my parents' backyard, I was charging like $20 for a ticket, and then because we had the bar business, we were doing like the bar setup, we were taking bar like I was charging $5 drinks at the bar and stuff like so for us it was like the money, like for our friends, it was a given that they were spending money. So then when we thought, okay, we're going to go to the city, we're going to nice venue, massive lineup, like all this stuff, it was like, okay, well, we saw the value in that, so the ticket price should be this high. Whereas the reality was like, and so many, I would say a lot of people in the industry looked at us weird. Like that's probably how we got noticed first, because it was like, dude, these guys are like booking what we would normally book for a lineup, but charging double the price. And we just didn't know any better.
No, fair enough though.
Yeah, it's literally just like jump straight in and then just like, oh, let's just piece it all like backwards.
Yeah.
But then it was also like everyone was like, why are these guys charging this? And it's like, but then our lineups would like, it'd be, they'd only put one on, and for us it was like, if we put 6 on, then like the numbers kind of work out. Like everyone one
in
thing.
terms of headliners, for sure. And I think we carry that to us like to this day. It's like we know that like in marketing, like everyone, like as a sale, if someone wants it, they're not going to look at what the price is.
Exactly.
Exactly. And at the difference between a $5 or a $10, like the reality is like if you want to go, you're going to go.
There's always a niche market for a specific like product or event.
Exactly, 100%.
It just I think for us, it's like how much value are we providing in return for that? So there's obviously lots of like people out there that will charge crazy amounts and whatnot, but like and not have the value on the other side of that product. But I feel like yeah, for us, we've always had it to a point where we've tried to put as much value in it as possible.
100%. And like, I'll be the first to say, like, you guys also work a lot in your actual events. I've seen you guys at every single freaking event.
Yeah.
And I've been to, I wouldn't say a billion, but I've been to a couple. Yeah. And not only do you always like, Paul always reaches out and be like, hey, come to this, come to this, come to this. I'll be there, and then you'll be there.
Yeah.
Like, you're always there. Or everyone's always there. All hands on deck.
Yeah.
Same people. So like, you guys aren't just like getting people to come and like letting it just roll out.
Yeah.
You guys are making sure that the vibe is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we know what it's worth to people as well. Like
Exactly.
when we go out with our friends and whatnot, like, you know, if you're going in a big group, like, and you know, familiar faces and all that sort of stuff,
Facts.
it's like, it's always a good time.
Yeah.
And even like I was watching Ron's thing when you guys are talking to him. It's like,
Yeah.
when you're in a big group, when you're going out to festivals and stuff, like, it's such a good energy. So
Facts.
we know that when people come to our events, it's like, if they can not only talk to us over social media, see the process of the behind the scenes, and then meet us there on the day and then get a drink, it's like that just solidifies. And I think that's why we do like as well as we do for events, from event 100%. To event, is that we keep that culture.
Yeah, I think naturally as well, like the whole team puts in so much effort for the events. Like, we all also want to celebrate it, which is why we're there on the day as well.
Facts.
We're there for bump in. So for a standard event, it might take 2 to 3 hours to get everything set up for the day.
Yep.
And then if we have enough time, we'll all get ready, go to someone's house for prees, and then go and enjoy the day, as well as host and all that. So.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, it's just as much an event for us as it is for everyone else. Like, knowing that, like, there's that relief of like seeing everyone rock up through the door, and like that is like such an addictive process of like hustle. And then you hit that one day where it goes so quick. Like, the 8-hour event, it feels like 10 minutes.
I think as well, like, when even like the prees for us is almost more exciting, because it's like everyone gets so drunk there, because it's like it's nothing you do now, like straight up. And then it's like the event just disappears. It's like, oh, like I didn't actually see anything, like I wasn't even there.
Yeah,
like,
facts.
Right, and then the pack ups when we're all drunk.
That would suck, G. That would suck. I'm not gonna lie.
You get this, you get that.
That would freaking suck.
One of us is out. Well, it's usually me. I was gonna say one of us. It's usually me out the front throwing up over the wall.
Yeah, facts. It's crazy. I see you guys every single event, right? Like I was saying, it's weird because like your vibe there isn't like you're at the event hosting it. It's like you're a part of it. Like, I don't know how many times I'll see Paul and then we just like duck away and talk shit about basketball. Like, and then we'll go for ages too. And we'll just fuck up everyone and be like, no, fuck you, bro, Boston. we'll do it for ages, and it's like he's not even running the event, but he's literally there running the event.
100%.
So it's crazy. You guys do heaps. So like, obviously you guys are in events marketing, right? How do you guys feel about like the competition? It's such a saturated market at this point, right? Like, there's so much. I actually know like 5 different people who do events marketing.
Would you guys even consider it a saturated market?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
like, and every year it's more. Like, there's more and more. Because
but I also think it didn't matter what industry you would be in. Like, even if you chose clothing, for instance.
Oh yeah,
you'd be in like the same thing. Like, there's always gonna be saturation. But I think the thing is, it's just finding your own niche and finding your own market for the whole thing.
Yeah, and point of difference as well.
Yeah, I think that's why we've focused a lot on just like Werribee being like local, because I think that's allowed us to like, all we really do is like compete against ourselves. Like, how do we top ourselves?
Oh yeah.
So like, it makes it more of like, oh, well, the only thing we're gonna do is beat ourselves.
Yeah, just
like,
focusing on yourselves
exactly.
instead of the other people.
Yeah, because then for everyone else, it's like, they look like we're scaling. We're also sitting there like, we're going to give more to the people. Like, so like, we're not sitting there being like, oh, what's this brand doing? What's this brand doing?
Yeah, facts.
You know, not to be naive to the fact that like everyone's always got super cool creative ways of like, you know, making a difference and point of difference. But I think, you know, when we first started, it was like we were so focused on the city because that's where we felt the scene was at.
Yeah.
So it was like city event.
Nice.
Whereas the reality is that like, well, no one actually wants to spend $100 on an Uber drive out to the city.
Yeah, facts.
It's like, so if we could do it locally, like we would, you know, go through and find venues and whatnot. And yeah, at first it was a bit awkward and weird because everyone was like it's a cafe. Like what are we doing here? Like, or it's a restaurant. Like,
facts.
The venues that we were using.
Yeah.
But then eventually, like, you know, it caught on, and we focus a lot on brand. Teddy Daycare, Flow, Marvin's Room, like, we focus on the brand first, build that culture, and then, you know, after that point, it's like if people feel like they're a part of that community, they'll always want to go to something like that.
Okay.
Unless obviously like something comes up with work and whatnot. But for the majority, it's like we're constantly building within those brands.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not a lot of competition we don't see it as competition. We just see it as like and especially if other people from the West like are doing shit, like we love that because it means that like the more people that are out and about enjoying events, the more likely there are like, you know, you got people out there who are just like, I don't go out anymore. Like, you know, I'm saving for a house. I'm doing, you know, the adult thing and, you know, like trying to progress with work and like all that stuff, which is sick. But, you know, when you see them out at someone else's event, you know, it creates that momentum for everyone to be like, all right, let's start going out again. Let's, you know, so, so the more that there is, as much as it is oversaturation, there's like the more that there is that's appealing for people, helps us for, in the longer run. So
I think multiple times now, like if you guys if you just like look at your comments as well on your guys' posts and stuff, exactly what you said, like you brought the party to the suburbs and a lot of people say, oh man, they're putting Werribee on the map. Like bro, like you guys was the block party. People are coming out from like different parts of the city or different parts of Melbourne, hearing about like events in Werribee and then coming out to it.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like you brought the party to the west side. And I feel like everyone who says it. Like everyone who knows says it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like back in the day, we only ever had that one night. I won't mention it because it's different. When we talk about that one night in Werribee, that one location, it'd be like scummy or dirty, or everyone hears about that one night and be like, oh yuck, Werribee. Yeah. It's not the same vibe anymore.
Yeah, because that's what I used to think about, like going to a Werribee club is just.
Where are you from? Like,
I used to live in Point Cook, but now I live in like this area, so like Caroline Springs, Water Gardens area.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone has that connotation with Werribee. It's like Werribee. And like we were like that when we first started. It's like, we would want to party in Werribee. You know
fact.
And then it was a really good friend of ours, and like I would say a big mentor for us was like, dude, like if you can just create the same energy here, like you wouldn't need to drive to the city all the time, but two, like you would be able to provide comfort for people to just, you know, walk 10 minutes down the road, catch a 5-minute Uber, or, you know, like, and once you get over that barrier of it's Werribee, then you start, and that's where the brands came in. Cause it's like, if you're not thinking Werribee, or a specific venue, then, and they're focused just on the brand, then you can do whatever you want with those brands, move it to wherever you need it to. That's where the block party came in.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it was a cool process to get Werribee sort of to that point.
Yeah. And I think as well, like, after coming out of COVID, everyone wanted to stay close to home. No one really wanted to venture in the city. Like the risk of events being cancelled. Like COVID, you know, literally almost no control over COVID. What is it, 5, 6, 7 lockdowns that we went through and like planning.
Too many.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, for us, it was like if everyone wants to stay home and not have to, you know, risk going all the way into the city or getting shutting down and stuff like that. At least, you know, mixing audiences, everyone's in Werribee. Like, you're not getting someone to come from Keele.
That's facts.
You're not getting someone to come from the east side that could have COVID, like, all the way in. Like, the risk of just going to the city at that point in time was so, when, like, over the New Year's, when all those festivals came out, and then literally almost everyone was in COVID for that next
straight
week.
Up.
Straight away.
Straight up, man. I ain't gonna forget that. Yeah. I was, I don't know if you remember, but I was 29 days in lockdown. Yeah, because 29. Of 29 days. I don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
With events, right? Like, what goes into the planning to, you know, have a successful night? Like, what do you guys do? Do you guys have like some sort of routines or anything like that?
How do you determine a successful night?
Like statistics or anything?
Yeah.
I feel like we're still learning as well, especially with a new brand that you always find new challenges with it. If you stick to one brand and you grow it, like what Tay said before, you create your own community, it tends to do its own thing. But yeah, starting off, it's, I don't know, what is the first step we take?
I think like we look at the timeline first of like when other events are happening and what we feel is like, obviously like the weather plays a massive part. So you try and put a bunch into the warmer weather, and especially if we're trying to do those outdoor events, like that's a big factor. Then it's, you know, understanding, okay, how often have we been running this brand, or how, you know, when was the last time we put a Teddy Daycare on or a Marvin's Room? So, because if you do them too frequently, people get sick of it. Yeah. So it's always about, like, again, it's like people don't want to see the same shit over and over.
Yeah, like other clubs was not other clubs, right? But somehow clubs just always every week, right?
Same thing. Yeah. And you'll have, you know, 2-3 good months from that one person, but then they go, fuck this, I'm not going anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So how often we're putting it out, and then if we feel like it's been at least I think 2 months for a brand, or a month to 2 months is, I would say even 2 months, is a good timeline for a brand to then come back and do something.
Okay.
Because in the marketing side, we usually allow for 6 weeks in the build up. So we'll drop like teaser content, whether it's on our personal stories and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, you would have seen like the other day we were like at the car park again, and like we were putting stories. So like you start a pre-tease sort of phase, then you drop a little like artwork piece that like showcase like that activates the platform again.
Okay, that's cool.
And then you activate all the promoters and the people that would be involved on the day. Obviously, then you have to lock in with the venue and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you get it to a point where you create like almost like this little buzz in the local area. And
Straight up.
it's like people start talking to each other.
Yep.
Oh, this is coming, this is going.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring us to that next point. It's really good, actually. Content creation. And what's that process like? Because like you guys do a lot, man. Like you're promoting every single day, leading up to it. I see that it's sponsored ads as well. So you guys are putting in money to get your ads boosted.
Yeah.
We've got a marketing team. Tay's the main content creator for it.
Okay.
Oh,
He's the creative basis of, I'd say. Yeah, I think we've got how many do we have? 3 or 4 that work with you?
I think there's about 4 of them. It breaks off into like, TikTok content creator, like short form video.
God damn.
Yep.
You've got graphic design. So I do a lot of like graphic work. So all the main flyers that come out, I've done. We have another girl on the team. She does all like the smaller graphics. So like things that if I make the main, she does all the spin-off stuff. So like ticket announcements, all that sort of stuff. And then we have external as well. So contractors, photographers, videographers and whatnot. And sometimes we have in-house for ads, but if we know it's a bigger event, we'll activate an external team as well for that. So for the block party, for instance, like we had a massive budget allocated and we had an agency come in and help us out
dope.
with that. So, and again, it just depends on what like level we feel like we are with that audience specific to that brand. So if, for instance, we know we've done sold out shows of 300 to 400 capacity, like multiple times in a row, and there's a diverse range. Like if the overall is like 1,000 people, that gives us like the not guarantee, but like a better indication of what putting 1,000 people would look like.
Yeah.
So in the marketing side, it's like always understanding like it's email marketing, it's ads, it's
So you guys do email marketing as well.
text.
Dang, man.
We use
That's
a
a
text
lot.
platform as well. Like
PR as well.
Yep.
PR. So
News articles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So how
no
do you
joke.
guys get everyone's emails generally? There's always a way to do that.
The tickets is a big
Tickets.
one.
Okay. So that's how you do
Because
it.
everything's
We've kind of done so many events now, so many different
Yeah.
ranges from like R&B to house, techno over like the last 4 or 5 years.
Wait, how many events just to list everything?
Brands wise, is Teddy's, Flow, and Marvin's Room have been like our main 3.
Yep.
Like those will run 3 to 4 times a year. each alone.
Okay.
Like it kind of like stacks up, and then like we've got like our weekly stuff that we like engage with as well.
Yeah.
And then there'll be the random ones where like it might be a shorter timeline. So some of them, like for instance, Teddy's last year did about 5 to 6. But that was because we were only focused on Teddy's last year,
okay,
so
okay.
it kind of balanced out.
yeah, definitely.
But you guys have done huge events too. Like the block party, was it Shelter as well?
Shelter.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
with that brand as well. Yeah, the first one off, that was good.
Yeah, did you guys want to talk about like those are huge and I would say success. I was there. They were. I don't remember much, but they were awesome.
Yeah.
You want to talk about those numbers? a
Yeah,
bit?
a lot of it was in partnership, so we probably can't go like too far into
Oh,
some stuff. But,
sorry.
No, that's all right. So we've had Shelter, Perfect Motion was another one. We collaborated with a different team. So there's a lot of brands in the industry in the city, like that are city based, that see the value in suburbs based team because
Gotcha.
for them they've got obviously the monopoly on the city, but where they can reach out further. So we've had a lot of like collabs and worked with in partnership with a lot of teams and brands.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we're just doing the baseline promotion and basically reaching out, selling tickets, doing some of the online marketing and all that sort of stuff. But I guess the structural side to those events are usually held with the bigger teams, like the bigger brands out there.
Facts.
So yeah, I think we've done a fair few collabs now, but even for us as we grow, like back then it's awesome because we would not at that point be able to put on an event for 4,000 people.
Yay.
Like we don't have that data yet.
Yeah.
But to collab with someone who has the capacity to do 10 to 15,000, it's heaps beneficial for us.
Oh hell yeah! And that experience as well, man.
Yeah, exactly. And you get all the insights. You get to see how the business is sort of like operating, like and how they sort of work as a team.
Learn from them in that.
Yeah, and that's I guess like where we take value from and add it into our stuff. Like we always see different processes and different. And again, we're not like none of us are really, besides Jez, is like are really qualified with degrees and all that sort of stuff. So
Wait, was he qualified?
as like accounting.
Oh yeah, Bachelor of Commerce. So
Yeah.
What the hell?
majored in accounting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
So you've been roasting the qualified one.
The one who doesn't look qualified now. I just my ball. Oh, shit. My man, that was a long
Bro, he was
man.
going for your face.
I love that nobody like was gonna help me out. Paul's just looking like, that's all good. That's what's up, man. That's facts. So you're doing the accounting side of things.
Yeah. I think that was where I first jumped on board to help out with the financial side and the budgets and all that.
Damn. So you guys are like, that's it. Like you guys got a team.
Yeah,
That's
well,
it.
we
If
tried.
you have 15, I think you have a team.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
team.
But you know what I mean? Like everyone got strengths.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and that's what we try to focus on, playing to all of our strengths.
Yeah.
Like Paul does all of our artist bookings and everything. So
Let's go.
he's the main guy that does all the research for who's popping off and what talent to book.
Oh, gee.
He'll probably go into detail about that.
The event management side of things with like planning dates, working out when festivals are running, planning around those, give us enough time.
This guy knows
competing.
any event that we've had and the date. Like, we literally went through this the other day.
Oh, wow.
I'd be like, "Oh, when was the last time we ran Teddy Day?" And he'd be like, "November 5th, 2023."
Jesus.
And I'm like, "What?" Like,
I'm
anything.
looking at it like, because I got to base like when I'm choosing dates of like when was the last time we ran that date. When was-
True that.
Yeah.
What else is around that timeline? To make
Yeah.
sure we're not competing
Smart.
against everything and making sure that.
Smart.
I didn't even think about
Smart.
that. Yeah, far
Because
out.
then, like, if we run them too consecutively, like people just like I said before, like everyone just loses interest. But if we allow ourselves enough time between the events,
You're
then
just
it,
building
like,
demand.
yeah,
for it.
builds the demand for it, and then it also brings like a little we're back type of like feeling to it all when we do have a break. But yeah, like I'm working like that's how I go through like the process of like choosing dates and. When I like major festivals, especially like 3 to 4 day festivals, like if I know there's like a lot of demand for those type of things, it's try to get a 2 to 3 week gap between those before actually running something. Because if you run something a week before or a week after, everyone's done a week after that. Like no one wants to do anything
Everyone's
a
still
week.
recovering
Yeah,
too.
right, the
Yeah.
recovery stage or something like that is like
Money's a big factor.
Yeah,
exactly.
not
So-
me.
Yeah.
I'm built different. Back to back to back. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm so
We
kidding.
actually
Hey.
have our memberships going at the moment. Do you want to?
I mean, you know, I'm not in Melbourne, but okay.
Like when everyone looks at like festivals and stuff, it's like after you pay the $400-500 for the actual festival itself,
Facts.
once you pay for food, you pay outfits, like it's all the extra stuff that like adds on right before the festival.
Yeah.
That, like
Yeah.
And even then, it's like the buying capacity of a person. Like, even though the festival might be, 6 months away, they're spending all that money now. So whatever event you're putting on now
Yeah.
will be affected by the fact that they've just spent $1,000 towards that festival.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
that day party or whatever. So,
Yeah.
and that's where I guess oversaturation is a really big thing for us.
Yeah.
But yeah.
a lot of it's been like trying to find gaps on like understanding when people are looking to launch, understanding like if we can get like our launches a week before,
Yep.
they're not thinking about like the competition of like we could go to something else. It's we've
Yeah.
already got that like locked in because like they already know it's coming up. Like,
Yeah.
so there's a lot more that like dates wise that like you got to flick through.
Yeah, like timing.
Yeah, and exactly, and it's like also like because you're never only gonna know almost every date, but like
Yeah.
you've got to know like the certain festivals like.
The big
like,
ones.
like the New Year's Day ones, the
Yep.
New Year's ones,
Yep.
the Labor Day weekend ones, like
Yeah,
they're really
public
good.
holidays and all
Public
that.
holidays,
Yeah, public holidays,
there's
yeah.
always a stack around there. So like, it's just finding the balance between all of that as you like continue to progress, but also giving us enough time to if we're gonna launch this time frame by this time frame, but this needs to go out by this time frame. Like,
Yeah.
there's
There's a lot of overlap as well. Like
Yeah.
you'll see that, especially with our events, and I think this is a big reason why we've created different genre-based music like events, because for us, if you know that there's a huge techno festival happening,
Yeah.
you're going to lose the majority of your crowd. However, the R&B hip hop, like
Let's go.
yeah, that's where you slot in one of those. So it's like you're just playing like whatever we know is coming up in terms of big stuff. Like we just shift to a different one of our brands. But whereas before we used to just have the same thing over and over, and it made it hard.
and I think as well, it was like for a lot of the West, it was like we did like a massive educational phase for it all because like it was like as long when you look in the city, it's like it's very act dominant in terms of like
True.
you only go if it's like a really big act.
Yeah.
But like for Werribee and where it was like no one really knew a lot of big names at that point. Whereas like I definitely it's like getting to a point where it's like you've really got to spend that money, that extra bit of coin to get them to Werribee because those guys are now like the culture starting to like build a lot
Yep.
faster than what it previously was. Like we could get away with not even putting a headliner on for some of our events, and like it would still do really well. Where now it's like, okay, well, who's on the lineup? And I was like, well, a year ago it didn't even matter who was on the lineup. You still go to it. So
but it's a good thing because it means that like they're learning and like they're seeing more and more. And if as soon as we put on a bigger act or a bigger headliner, it's like they can relate the fact that we've got the same level or quality of talent that would be on in the city or at a festival, but down in Werribee. So like we had
such a different. Our one was a different event because we planned it to launch 3 to 4 weeks earlier.
Yep.
And like we had discussed, like, let's just stay in it and see if we can pull it off. And that's literally what that Bag Raiders event was for us. It was just stay in it, see if we can pull it off, and on the day like
because you see a lot of like, and especially like since COVID and like people being a lot more conservative with where they're spending their money and like all that sort of stuff. It's like when you put out an event, and this is what happened a lot in the events industry straight after, is that people like weren't buying tickets until like the last second. Even now, it's like
same. I do.
They're in the Uber on the way to the event. They're like, oh, where do I get a ticket? Yeah, you know what I mean, or on the door.
And like we do so many tickets from the moment the event starts online.
Yes.
Like if we start an event at 10, you'll see like 100 tickets go through at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because people are just like, oh, what are we doing tonight? And then just like go.
Boom.
And it's like,
and it's hard because there's so many festivals out there that rely on that early. I mean, everyone would rely on that early income. To fund the event. So then you're really just playing, chicken.
It's like,
facts, like you see the numbers are down. Like you're down here, the costs are up here. You, overnight, like even like some of our events, like we'll sit there and just like slowly watch it. Like, go.
Go, you good thing.
So this is the pre-drinks, huh?
It's like,
every shot, another shot goes up.
We hit a milestone shot. We got this.
As soon as we hit that break even or past, it's like, all right, boys, we're on.
We good.
We did it.
Facts though, like that's 90% of everything I do. I don't buy till the last minute.
And because like even like the resale platforms now and stuff. Such a big impact on where the industry actually has gone. Has forced everyone to be like that late minute buyer, like that last minute, like no one like it's like, oh, well, I'll see what I'm doing on the week off. And it's like for us, it's like, okay, how do we plan for that? How do we create so much more demand that it's done in the first week, don't have to worry about it. But we've got a majority of our tickets knowing that when it comes to the week of the last, few hours, it's just gonna be an influx of tickets. But like we also need to get to a point where before that, it's like, okay, how do we get to the before point?
Financial fees.
Facts.
When we know that last week and last few days come in play, it's like that's the cream on top in a sense.
Have you guys thought of any new strategies to do that yet?
Yeah, we reversed like a lot of it's like when it first started happening and no one was buying, everyone was shitting themselves. Like, what the fuck?
It would have been a lot of stress.
Man. Like, and you sit there and go, well, nothing's like, what's different? Like the headliners are bigger, the events are cooler places. Like you sit there and like question, why are we doing this? A lot of the time. But now it's like we focus purely on understanding type of audience that we're targeting. So if it's a younger crowd, they vibe off like the hype and the energy of like
facts.
It's like when you're talking to promoters, it's like you're talking to them. It's not like, hey, like save this day, like blah blah blah. It's like, yo, like we've got something fucking sick. Like you're talking different.
You're talking, you're catering to the audience.
A lot of it comes down to the branding. So for Marvin's room, for instance, we focus a lot on the dress up side of things. So it's like 90s theme.
I saw that. That was dope.
Halloween. So it's like you're not, people don't like hearing about the tickets, how many tickets are left. Like you use that as some sort of push, but for a lot of the time it's like, yo, like what are you wearing to the Halloween event? If they start going, oh, I think I was going to wear this, that they're coming. It's like, wait, have you got a ticket yet? Oh, no. Oh, bro, like just grab a ticket now. Like, so it's like you find other ways to have that conversation, and then you use the online, like the social side of things, to be able to actually get like content out that relates to that as well. So, showing off the venue, or like, going in depth and educating more on a specific headliner, like you just find different avenues for that. But I think, in this day and age, it's like we strategize most weeks about how to, get the next set of ticket sales. Like we're planning the block party at the moment for next year. We haven't actually announced that. So
so this is the first scoop. Oh my god! So wait, you're telling us the block party's next year?
Yeah, we're planning it at the moment. We've got holds on dates. We won't mention any dates or anything just yet, but we locked that in, I think maybe 2 weeks ago. Super exciting, nerve-wracking at the same time. Probably more nerve-wracking than it's exciting.
It was the most stressful 3 months of my life.
It's a big project, man. And like if you think about when we do normal events, like there's the venue's already there. Usually the sound system's already there. Like a lot of the things are there already.
Yeah.
Security, licenses, all that. In a car park, you have to essentially build a venue before you run the event. So the planning and the permits and all that, like that's the part that like is the time consuming part. Running the actual event is the easier part. Like as in terms of like the marketing and whatnot. Obviously there's a lot more risk to sell more tickets and all that sort of stuff.
Facts.
But for the most part, it was a massive project for us last year.
Yeah, man.
We also got a temporary liquor license and we ran the bar for the event as well.
All right.
And I was the main one in charge of the bar operations, and that was like a whole new experience for me as well, because I'm talking to all these sales reps from different beer and vodka companies and stuff like that, spirit companies, and then trying to organize staff and do like their super and all that stuff as well. Like,
oh wow,
what the hell?
So much
HR team,
out of the 21 staff organized, 10 rocked up on the day. So it was,
Jesus Christ.
It was crazy, yeah.
But you know what, man? Honestly, that was such an amazing time. Last time, the block party last year.
What was it held last year?
This year.
This year,
this
knew
year,
that.
yeah.
Just testing you. So it's a That Me podcast exclusive. This block party next year with Faces Of. Use Earl.
I was like, this is sounding great.
I'm just kidding. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe you don't get some VIP.
You need to come this time. Did you go last?
No, I haven't gone to like events for ages. I used to go events when I was a bit younger.
But he'll come out next time. Yeah. Well, we'll make an appearance.
You guys should do a pop-up podcast.
100%.
Like a podcast
Oh,
on the
that'd
event?
actually be a good idea.
That'd be freaking lit.
Yeah, because
Someone brought it up the other day. Like we should, because a lot of festivals now have podcast crews come up.
Yes.
And then they just
Yeah.
interview people from the crowd and like
Yeah.
whatnot.
can
Or-
if we want. Yeah, I reckon that'd be a good
You guys are
idea.
keen.
So we've got
That'd
the like
Yeah.
even with the headliner DJs, this is like a full business meeting right now.
Yeah, I know.
This is
Again, use Earl. I'm kidding. Nah, facts, bro. We'll do that. We'll definitely make appearance. One thing that people have been actually asking us to do quite a lot now is like when people have asked to be a part of the podcast or do something, then they follow up with, "Oh, Earl, can you come out to this? We'll do something there." And I'm like, maybe, maybe. Then we're definitely gonna like make appearances and stuff.
Yeah. No.
But facts, dude, that'll be dope. All right, because we now know a lot about the things that come in and out of this. What do you think is the end goal for you guys? You guys want to be the #1 events planning place?
I think it's like a range of things. Like we've always talked about like a multi-purpose warehouse that like can do like a range of different stuff.
That's what you have.
Events. No, but like something like events based. Like right now we've got like a HQ in the sense.
Yeah. I would say maybe not like a warehouse specific, like just
like
a
event,
building that has like all of our businesses operate and is open to the public. Because I feel like for us growing up, like we always wanted to go to like really creative spaces or work in a cool cafe or, and like if we can give that back to, younger entrepreneurs coming through as well, we're into the fitness industry as well. So like there's opportunities for us there, like, well, that we want to take on, to bring that into the same space. It's just, I guess like a massive fog HQ.
We need a space big enough to obviously cater for something like that. Like, you can do events, you can do competitions, you can do like, all that stuff. Like getting into a whole, like, I think that's like part of our goal. In a sense. And I think the other one's probably like an energy drink.
Hey,
that'd be sick.
Why not? Why not?
Just call it fog.
Why not?
We drink that
Paul's
much.
been holding on to that for months.
Oh yeah, seriously?
We literally drink that much energy drink that it's like it's almost point like.
Yeah, straight up though. I don't know how you live on that.
That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a massive end goal. Like what we're doing day in, day out, like we're blessed to be able to do that.
I love that.
We're all full time in our businesses.
Yeah.
So
like,
I
love that.
For us, like, yes, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of like, work to be done, but the alternative being, and nothing against it, but like, working a 9 to 5, like I could never see myself doing anything like that.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like that journey part, as tacky as it sounds, the journey is like a lot of the time what the goal has been.
Yeah.
Even like getting like the goal to be full time in our business was a massive part of that. Like, and so at being able to get across into that position was like, I think like probably the biggest thing that we could have achieved. Now it's just like the brands that we do have, how far can we scale them and how big can we get those things while still being able to maintain the energy and culture that we do have in the team.
Facts.
So,
And you guys saying end goal, you said a building of all the things of your business. What are all the things in your business?
So we got the events brand, then got the portable bar business.
Yep.
Lemon Lime Bitters.
Nice.
And
Favorite
then
drink?
we've recently started a clothing brand, Mr. and Mrs. West.
Awesome. Seen
I
it.
saw that.
Dope.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. They look nice.
We'll have a photo uploaded right
Right here.
No, seriously, don't put it on. Don't actually do it.
Are you gonna get a kids?
No, you know what? You know what? He's got multiple. They got multiple colors and stuff. So we'll have one here, here,
And kids range
here. Yeah. No, hundreds. Yeah, but it looks dope. Honestly, I love the black and black. I love the blue and yellow.
Yeah.
It looks like comical. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
IKEA.
IKEA. See, that's what I thought. I didn't want to say it.
That's right. Everyone thinks that.
Everyone say it, yeah? Okay, cool. But it also looks really nice.
Thanks, bro.
Like honestly, I could see that at like in the brown as well. Like
the
very
brown looks
dancer
nice.
vibe. Like very dancer vibe. I would wear it to a class.
Yeah, the Mr. and Mrs. West stuff, like we've done clothing for. Paul's actually wearing the brand that we first started, Simplicity Apparel.
Oh.
So we did that 6 years ago.
Oh, 6 years ago.
No, it was like longer than that. It would have been like all like 18 at the time.
Oh wow.
Oi.
Yeah, like when we started it, and it was just like, we'll sit in the cafe and we just made it all roll out. Like,
Nice.
We knew nothing about brand, nothing about marketing, nothing about
absolutely
business.
nothing.
And it showed.
Business no longer exists.
How long did you guys do that one for?
Probably a year.
It was like a year, but it was like the span of the business was a year, but I reckon we probably worked like 2 months on it. As like,
Yep.
Like it wasn't like it was like we'd remember about it, and it wasn't like let's keep doing it.
We weren't driving out.
Yeah.
And like we ordered so much stock in the beginning because we were
Oh
like,
my god.
bro, we had, because we were like, okay, if we could each sell like 50 of these things, like, you know, we order a couple hundred. At that point, we were like, yeah, let's just get it out there. And because like minimum quantity of orders, like all that sort of stuff, like, you know, making it cheaper per product. You order more, like literally getting sucked into the
All the promotions. Yeah.
We had like 400 or 500 units of like.
Oh
some
my
t-shirts.
goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys haven't done shit yet, and you're like, fuck it, we're gonna
Bro,
sell 500.
literally. And we had it.
I think you still have about 300.
I was gonna ask, like, how much do you guys still have?
We sold maybe like 100 across the whole year.
Okay.
We had like 500, maybe 500 to 600 across like 3 or 4 different designs,
Yep.
like different colorways and stuff. Yeah, it just became our friend's wardrobe. Like people would just come over, we'd go out clubbing, and they'd be like, "Hey, can I just go?" Because it was just like plain black, plain white tee, like similar to that.
Yep.
Like simple logos like this one. Mates would just come over and be like, "Oh, can I just grab it?" And be like, fuck it, just
Yeah,
And so
facts.
it got out there. Like people were seeing it.
Yeah,
but-
100%.
but
And
yeah.
who knows? Maybe, not maybe. When you guys get super freaking huge, be like exclusive, first ever, basis of original
Vintage.
design. Yeah, why not, man? Exactly.
To be fair, I actually like our long sleeves like that we have. Like,
Yeah.
actually, like,
Yeah, it's dope.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The
like
quality
some
of
of the
stuff
stuff
is
was just like I think it was 2 designs, right? I wasn't actually 100% fan of, but like some of the
Right.
basic stuff for it was like really good. Like
Yeah.
the t-shirts, the tank tops, and then like the long sleeve. It was just like black, white, and it was simple.
Yeah.
It was easy, like stuff like that. Like
Staples.
That worked.
Yeah.
Staples. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Probably
Mr.
not
and
getting
Mrs.
a
West.
1,000 units of it to try and sell it was probably not the smartest
But
thing we've ever done.
it's now taught us so that with Mr. and Mrs. West, we do extremely limited. The first batch sold out within the first, I think, 6 weeks.
Dope.
And we took a lot of knowledge from the ticketing side of things and how to build hype and all that.
Yeah, loving it, by the way.
Because
Seriously.
how much quantity did you have of Mr. and Mrs. West?
150.
Oh, wow. So it's
Whoa.
really limited.
Limited as hell.
Yeah. And that was with 75 of each color.
Damn.
Wow.
And then you got to think about the sizes: small, medium, large,
Yep.
extra small.
Hey.
So I had to get my brother's
You,
value.
man.
Thank you.
Solely ain't no fucking big. But facts, man. Oh, shut up. Hey, don't want me to talk? I won't talk. No, okay, go for it.
With the first batch though, we tried getting the same amount of quantity per size.
Yeah.
And then we struggled selling the smaller sizes because everyone wanted, I mean, it's an oversized hoodie.
Yep.
Everyone wants like a larger XL.
Yeah.
What?
And we sold out of them within like the first 2 weeks. And
If
all we
that,
had was medium.
a week.
All we had was medium and small left, and no one wanted to buy the smalls. So, but yeah, I know we got one now.
Hold on, man. Hey, man, I'll put it on and shit. No, wait, straight up. Wait, you only got smalls left?
Would that be oversized for him? Like,
What the fuck, man?
no, it's a genuine question because you know, like,
Well, if he's an extra small, we size up.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's oversized, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. So then that means like,
it's
why
like
would
purposely
anyone?
It
oversized,
just
right?
depends because the aesthetic now is like, I mean, you guys would know, it's like super baggy. Like,
Yeah,
massive-
super baggy,
yeah.
everything
Massive
loose.
hoods, like,
yeah.
yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's very dancer vibe.
Yeah, and then I think even like the girls, it's like they're wearing like mediums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's got like extra baggy on it. And it's
Yeah.
like the smalls were like
Baggy.
was supposed to be for like obviously for the girls, but it's like they are like kind of like they wanted bigger, and I was like, and that was something we didn't know. It was just like we never could have like realized because it's like first one out, and then just to be left with all the smalls, it was like
But is there any smalls left? Is what I'm saying.
Do we have one?
Yeah, we've got one blue small left.
I'll take it.
But
I got you.
and
Yeah.
well, originally we were like, someone said to me like, you should keep one of each thing. Like, so yeah, we'll charge triple price.
That's fucking bullshit.
I'm kidding. No, we should.
Yeah. Wow, look at that marketing. You should have had that on the mic. Paul just said, think about it, Earl. You got the last one.
Yeah, we do sales training every morning.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, straight up. All right, dope, man. But like, if you want to, let me know, Jez. I love you. You know that.
We're about to drop we've got our second batch ready. We've just done all the photo shoots and stuff. And,
sick.
And that drops in.
I'm actually wearing tea for the second one.
Take it off. Is he?
Yeah. Are you wearing it?
Yeah, I'm wearing it. It's not ironed or anything though. But I'll lift the.
You think you look good as it is? No, okay.
whoa,
No, I'm kidding.
big words for a child.
I think that's small. Just so
Hey,
Oh, that looks nice.
oh, yo, that's
Good
a
colour,
dope
good
colorway.
colour.
Yeah.
Turn around.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, Christ, get your highs.
Oh, maybe just take it off, Jay.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
take it off, bro. Take it
I bet
off.
that's so much harder.
Yeah. And then when he's
It's literally
talking,
up here.
when he's
Yeah.
talking, Paul, I'll have it on him. When he's talking, so he
Fucking awkward as shit.
dead silent. Put him on.
Some ASMR taking his
Yeah,
clothes
I
off.
know. Yeah. Hey, dude, that's dope.
Ah, looks mad.
So they're like oversized sort of pump cover tees.
What size is this?
Face
would
the
you say?
camera a little bit.
What size?
Large or extra large?
This is extra large.
Extra large.
Yo, for real, that looks mad.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is that we get a lot of questions because like when we ran out of the hoodies, everyone says, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy," and then you sell it out, and they go, "Bro, I swear I was gonna buy." Like, you know what? It's like, when's the next one? I'll buy it. So as we go drop to drop, like we'll keep building that demand, and we're still trying to run limited numbers. Like we've only got 150 of these as well.
That's dope. I seriously love it.
Yeah.
So we got this color and then the opposite. So the beige tee with the green text as well. So,
Beige tee, green text.
yeah. So
Okay.
literally the opposite.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that. Looks
Oh,
Yeah.
That's nice. I reckon that looks nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love beige.
Yeah.
I'm a size small. No, wait. Seriously, what size is the smallest?
no, small.
We got smalls out. Yeah. That's our.
And is it
small size.
oversized like that? Because this
Yeah.
is
It's like thick, heavy duty as well. So
say less. Straight up. Like, I'll be one of those.
What's
who
the,
say that I'll
what's
buy
the,
it.
is that 100%
Yeah.
cotton or material?
Oh, like, what are we talking about right now?
Oh, I just wanted to know. Okay, sorry.
Look at us be like, oh, okay.
Hey man, man's got eczema, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, that's what's up, man. It's all right. Do it for everyone with eczema. Exactly. Synthetic. No, I'm kidding. We've got into like all the different parts of your businesses and like how well you guys are doing. Tell us, what's the worst thing so far that you guys have ever had to come up with? Like ever faced? Could be like the worst party. What's the worst thing that you guys together have experienced?
it was a roller coaster of emotions, but it was the day after our block party event for me.
Oh yeah.
I think that 24 hours,
That
like
24 hours was insane.
from it finishing to the next day.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Like I think we always get like straight after an event, we're like all like depressed for because like all that hype, all that emotion put into it, and it's over. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. But the block party was even worse because we overnight, like we all celebrated, went to our after party and stuff, and we didn't think much into it, but we left a lot of the equipment and stuff at the car park with no security, and we had our fencing, so we kind of fenced it all off in the corner of the car park. And we got there the next morning to pack up everything, and everything was damaged. We had people kick in the whole Red Bull bar, so that was like completely destroyed, which, you know, was like one of our it was a sponsor for our event. We had an esky full of it's so stupid on us, but we had an esky full of like all of our premium spirits for the VIP area, which was like over $1,000 in just alcohol alone, all stolen. Toolkits taken, like everything, and like we're doing the math in our head, and we're like, this is going to cost like an extra 10 to 20 grand to cover everything with what was damaged and what was taken and what we thought was stolen. It was like I broke down. I'd never experienced like a low like that before.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I'm so sorry to hear.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, laugh about it now.
No, it was honestly like, and because at that point, like we had planned everything up until that point, like traffic control on the day, the days before, security on day. Like there was even a police truck there on the side.
We saw.
Oh, wow.
I remember.
Yeah, and so like we had all these things thought out, all the permits covered, but we didn't cater for anything from as soon as the event finished.
Yep.
To the next day we would get there. And so like expensive lesson for us to learn, obviously.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what made it even worse is that that night, as soon as the event finished, we were like, so we obviously with the bar we were running, we had the sales side of things for that as well. And we were sitting there like, all right, let's check the bar sales. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, we were relying a lot on the bar sales to cover our ass.
Yeah, I hear that.
We were sitting there and Jez is like, refreshing this page, and it spits out this number that is literally like 30% of what we thought we were going to hit.
Wow.
And we sat there literally on like a couple of crates and a chair with just like a bottle of vodka between us, and just sat there and just stared at like the ground, and no one said anything for like 15, 20 minutes.
Shit.
Opa.
And we were like, what? And then we were just like, fuck it, let's just go enjoy our after party. Like the after party was at the bridge just down the road.
Yeah, I remember,
so we like, and we had to like put on a face to go back into that party, because again, everyone, like the 1,000 people that was just here, like is now rammed into this venue.
Yes.
And we had to like go in and play it, become a part of the event again.
Yeah.
That was probably the hardest part. And then knowing what had happened the next, like when we got there the next morning to see all that, it was like
Another
two
stab.
stabs in the stomach.
Yeah.
Like it was bad.
Damn, G.
Yeah, I remember sitting there with a bottle of vodka and we're just passing it around, just like, and literally it tastes like water. Like there was no feeling. It was just like I was just drinking like, oh my lord.
We're like, we're never doing this again. Like, what the fuck has happened? Like all that sort of shit. And then, Jez could probably go into this part.
Yeah, well, it got to the 2 days after the event, the Monday, and I was talking to the bar manager who I hired for the day, and he was like, yeah, a lot of the bartenders, to help with the rush because we were so understaffed, they weren't entering in the products. They were just putting it on the payment system and getting people to pay. And we were looking at the product sales on the system that they weren't entering anything on.
Yep.
And then I checked our bank account that day and we hit like a lot more than what we thought.
Oh, good.
And we got to like 80% rather than 30.
And we were there like, holy fucking shit.
He calls us like just on a FaceTime, like as a group thing. And he goes, boys, we fucking did it. We're doing it. Like, we're running it again. We're doing it.
That was the next day, yeah?
That was 2 days after.
2 days after. Okay, cool. So it was like, okay, we fucked up twice, but we are aight, All right.
As much as like it was the highest highs and lowest lows.
Yeah.
And I think with anything that we're doing at the moment, it's like the bigger the project is, the bigger that high becomes. But there's always like in anything, any event, any brand, anything we've done, the bigger that moment is, there's always a low that matches that. So it's about understanding and knowing that, okay, as much as this is going to be great, there's probably going to be a really shit part to this. And that keeps us sort of progressing and moving forward, knowing that we can get through that. So, and if we can get through something like that, fuck it out.
Jesus, man.
So you guys talked about the worst things. What about the best things that's happened to you guys in your journey or faces of?
Honestly, I think finishing up at my previous job and going full time, like that was the highest. Like I remember like feeling no tie downs, no like this is just me now, and like obviously just the business. And because I was the first one to make the jump into full time,
nice.
I was sitting there like, no one's my boss anymore. No one's like, you know what I mean? Like
Complete freedom now.
Yeah. Little did I know that I'd probably work harder now.
No, facts though,
Facts. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, it was probably the best and worst experience, because like the best experience is going to full time, like having the freedom and the lifestyle and everything. But it was like, okay, I've got another 35, 40 hours. Like, what do I do? Like now we like actually like just continue to do stuff or find stuff to do that generate income, generate like fast. I think there was like just thinking about the extra stuff. It's like, okay, just because I'm in events, well, like how far ahead do I go with the events? Like how far can I push this? Because like I've got so much more time to plan. I got so much more time to like focus on it. I got so much time to get like the marginal details down pat, where it's like you might save a little bit of money there, you add some more money there, and like the budget side of things. Like I think the difficult part early, but now it's just like you're at the office by 8, 9 o'clock, there till 10 p.m. Like that's a normal day. Like, so I think that was like the early stage was like the best feeling, but then it was like once you get over that first like couple of weeks where it's like
it's like the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, the honeymoon phase. And it's like, oh, so I'm gonna do this all the time, every day, like for the rest of my life. Like, so
fuck, G.
Yeah, I think definitely getting out of full time work, because I
was actually working full time.
Yeah, I went from uni to a graduate, like full-time graduate, as a grad accountant.
Yeah.
And then I was there for over a year, and then officially made the jump to go leave that completely and go straight into Faces of full-time.
Yeah.
That was cool. But I think another thing that I love most is seeing everyone at the event enjoying themselves and like knowing that we created that environment.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, what
It's
a
like
nice
your
ass
creation,
answer.
yeah.
All right, Jez, man, you got all those parts. Like you're like smart, bro. Like you single or like? Honestly, like you guys saying that's something like that resonates a lot with me, Marvin. I feel like for the longest, like exactly what you said. The moment you go into full time, you don't realize like how much work really like you got to put in. Yeah. I think for a lot of things we're touching, we're looking to do other streams as well.
Yeah.
I'm still working full time, still doing a crap ton of hours, but then this podcast as well.
Yeah, like even just podcast takes so much of your time, and I'm just thinking if I was doing this full time, it would be so much easier.
Yeah,
just because you can just actually dedicate so much more time instead of that. You know,
but where
8
you
hours.
at? Where you guys at? That's what we kind of wanna. I mean, I love my job. And I would never leave before I would never leave before my contract's over. But yeah, something like
is this your goal? Full-time like podcasts and stuff.
So this podcast is one thing we want to do.
Yeah.
But we got other things on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What our full-time goal is like I think we've talked about a couple times, retire before 35. But when we say retire, not working for someone.
Yeah.
You know, and doing things that keep us passionate.
Burn the boats.
Yeah, burn the boats. Yeah, straight up. Burn the boats. Who else is gonna carry them boats? One thing, so you guys, like you said, is actually what you said, like it brings you happiness seeing that all these people are here and you gave them like something to like be happy about. Yeah. A long time ago, I actually talked to one person and then he ended a dance class by saying, it's important to party. And I was like, what the frick does that mean? And then I asked him, I'm like, hey, like, what did you mean by that? And he told me, he was like, I don't know.
Was he drunk?
No. This was after dance class. He just taught it. Yeah. And I was like, but it made sense. Like it's an important party. See, like, you guys do a lot of obviously your business is around a lot of people like that need and want to like get loose or party, right? If I ask you that question, like, why is it an important party? What do you guys think you would answer? What would you say?
That's a good question.
I think a lot of people can take life really seriously to the point where like there's no enjoyment anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas what we can provide is that break from
reality.
Reality. And just have fun with your friends, create memories and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for us. Like even now, like we're doing so much at the moment that sometimes we forget to do that as well at our own events. You know, we take it more as work than it is for what it should be, which is like, you know, enjoy the party. But I think for a lot of people, as Jez mentioned, it's like everyone's so caught up in, you know, whether it's in the hustle or the grind or the, you know, the move, like trying to get a house or buy a new car or like the materialistic side of life. And I think it's very quickly forgotten about like where that startup came from. Like where, you know, when you were going out with your friends, like in club, even with Faces of Group, when we first started, it was just a bunch of mates chilling in a room, listening to good music, like trying to just get other mates down to enjoy the party with us. So keeping, like, I think for me, it's understanding that those core values, those startup situations should still carry throughout every part of what we do. Yes, there's business involved. Yes, there's, you know, money and all that sort of stuff. But how do we still keep it, as much as it's work for us, it's still a party for everyone else that is there.
Good stuff.
So trying to enjoy it from both sides.
I think as well, like even like people that do come, it's like an escape from what their usual thing is. Like going to the 9-to-5 job, you know, having to deal with things that, you know, may potentially happen at home and stuff like that. It's a way to get away from it enough to think about it and be a way to like actually like relax in a sense from what everything else usually is. A really good thing as well that we're able to provide something like that to a lot of people, because I know that it does happen a lot and like it's a good outlet for a lot of them as well. To be able to enjoy it. So yeah.
How about you, Marvin? Why do you think it's important to party? Because you had a phase.
Yeah, because I did have a phase, and that's why it's interesting hearing from your guys' perspective. Because when I was partying, I was just doing it out of just because I just wanted to go out, get drunk and that. But I think partying right now, as I am now, because I've quit smoking, drinking, and like all the other, you know, substances.
You used to go hard, I'm telling you.
Because I used to go quite bad.
Yeah,
like,
I'm telling you.
Quite hard. So now I think going to a party, as I am now, would actually just be about creating memories, what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah,
because
socializing.
I went in for the wrong reasons. And I think just hearing how you guys talk about what a party is supposed to be about, it kind of resonates with me a lot more now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part, is that a lot of people have really bad experiences with going out, and they think that, like, when they think about partying, they think about all the dumb shit that they do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the degenerate
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
partying can literally just be like socializing with your friends, like
Yeah.
letting loose, letting your
Yeah.
head down, not caring about things. Like, yes, there is always going to be temptations to do dumb shit, but you know, as people mature, and I think that's the best part of, like, as we get older, it's not about, oh yeah, our friends the same age as us don't give a shit anymore, so just let them be. We just know that when we have the bigger moments, we use that as a way to get, like, our friends to come along and actually have a good experience, like, you know, to relive the days where it was like, you know, no one gave a shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
know? So
Yeah, and then you spend like in those events, just like how we would do it. It was like you spend an hour just talking shit about, you know, remember that house party, remember that event.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
that, like,
Yeah.
and like that's like an hour of our events that we spend on that. But like that
Exactly.
reminiscing is like what makes that moment, and then you just make more memories out of that. Like after that,
Yeah.
Exactly.
you just set the tone like early on in the event that like you spend the rest of the day creating more memories and just pretty much talking more shit, really.
Yeah, I think anyone and everyone gets to the end of their life, gets old, and you always catch up with your friends, and you always talk about, remember when, like, and it's always you're at the events, you talk about, like, you do talk about how good the event was, blah blah, but the things you remember is the shit you did together. That's like, I remember when you did this, or
Yeah, and 90% of the time it's the dumbest shit in the world. That you
exactly
remember.
right,
But then everyone, like, the social status and everything is like, bro, just let loose. Like that's
Exactly right.
That's the whole point. Like,
exactly right, dude.
yeah.
I think that's why, like, we have really good connection with our audience as well, is that they know we're just like kids at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're there to have fun just as much as they are.
Yep.
Whereas, like, we go to a lot of events, and this is, again, not to throw shade on anyone out there doing it, but like, there's a lot of people out there who it's just work. Like, it's their work. They don't party. They don't socialize. You don't even see them half the time.
Yeah.
Right? And they're in the VIP room the whole time. They don't leave that room. Like, they're just, it's all about the money, how much we're making. So whereas for us, it's like, we know what it means to be a part of that. And when our friends come out and make the effort to go out to those things, we'll party just as hard with them and make sure that they're there for a reason. Yeah.
Get lit, bro. I love it.
Yeah. I think shout out wise, like, our team is like the number one always. Like, we would not be where we are without the team, and not just the team we have now, like anyone who's come and stepped foot through the doors of Face Off Group, like whether it's other DJs, you know, people who have taken on like bigger roles in the business. I would say, like, and I won't name names, but like, to anyone who has been a part of Faces Off Group in that journey, massive shout out to them. I would say, even our artists and stuff that we've worked with, you know, North Barton, Mammy, Phil, like all those guys.
Shout out North Barton.
North Barton, yes. And then I would say just like our closest family and friends. As we've mentioned, it's such a hard thing for people to consider going out the older you get, right? To go out and enjoy the events that we're doing. So when they do come out, like, it means a lot to us. So that's where I would put it.
Yeah, I think the support wise, just like having those people around as well. Like, you know, it's a big shout out to them, like the ones that do, and the ones that can't come out all the time. Like, I got a lot of friends on the east side as well who can't make it out all the time, but when we do come in to see, they're like, yep, we'll lock it in, like, we'll be there. Like, that is like what goes so far for you know, us being able to do what we do. And probably the main reason why we do what we do is that support is able to push us on, knowing that we've got you know, so many good people around us as well.
Easy.
Yeah, there's not really much more to say from that. No, seriously, like, our team, family, and friends, like, that's we wouldn't be where we are without them. 100%.
And as a consumer, as a party goer at one of your events, I guess a big thank you to you guys for creating the events that you guys have had, because all the memories that I've had from them has been just amazing, and I'll never forget them.
Thanks,
so
bro.
Appreciate that.
thanks.
Yeah, and I really love the brand that you guys are going for. It's really good.
Facts.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
100%.
Yeah. Thanks, heaps, guys, for jumping on.
Yep.
Awesome. Absolutely loved it. We'll have to have you guys on one more time.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to collab with you on some other shit. So we'll definitely be doing that.
definitely.
And I'm waiting for that.
Definitely talk about that.
Yeah, and I'm definitely waiting on that last hoodie. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll come. It'll come.
Oh, my guy. All right.
Thanks for tuning into That Me Podcast.
Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok by searching That Me Podcast on all platforms.
Like, follow, and subscribe if you want to see more of us. But most importantly,
Stay hungry.
stay humble.
Stay hustling.
We'll see you guys on the next.